everybody. This is Max Farrell from DexFXMarkets.com, and in this series called Nadex Ninja, you've already gotten your demo account. You're inside your system here, and we're just going to go through just as a quick overview of the new platform that they have. It's not completely finished, which I'll show you. There's a few things still missing, but they do leave a little link up here to the old platform. So if you're not sure how to use the old platform, look at the old Nadex Ninja series, and that'll kind of give you a good heads up. Now, inside Nadex, as soon as you log in, you get to this little blank screen that says get started, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that's here. We'll go through it section by section, but there's going to be a lot of it. Because we're at DexFX Markets, we don't deal with all of this stuff. We only really focused on one really important area, and that's going to be the binary option side. So immediately up top, you see this big markets button. This will open and close your little availability here to pick what indices and all that kind of stuff, or binaries or what have you. Okay. You can go to calls and spreads, or call spreads and knockouts and all these other little neat little things that they've all started to create. But again, we've perfected our process through the Forex side of it. So first one up is indices in there, and clicking on indices will bring you down to all the indices that are known to man that are housed on Nadex. How they're all filled out and what each one is, we'll discuss as we go through the binary section in future videos. Next up the list is Forex. You got 11 pairs that are in here. You know, from the Audi JPY all the way down to the USD, the new add-on USD MEXI, the MXN. So each one of them is in here. They are non-collapsible, so you can't collapse the actual each one of them. So they're alphabetical, of course. So you'll find them through that process, and then anything that is made available for that day is made available here with a little expiration of when the expiry happens for that time. So the 8 to 10 expires in about 20 minutes, which is normal because it's 9:39 a.m. Eastern time right now. All times are set into Eastern, whether or not you're in Oklahoma or California or Italy. Everything here on Nadex is set to Eastern time. Now, if I go back to the Forex, the next are events and jobs. And all this stuff of when the events are, you can actually trade on if it's going to be above or below and all these little things. Yeah, I don't look at all this stuff. There's commodities now, and again, don't really look. Now, down by duration, there are 5-minute and 20-minute series trades. These 5 minutes are addictive little buggers that your family will probably send over people to do interventions with you with, because you'll be up in the late at night. You'll be trading a lot of trades. You'll be trying to guesstimate which way the market will go for the next 5 minutes. And that's like trying to, I don't know, teach cats how to fly to the moon. Okay. It seems like a good idea, but then you start doing it and you're like, what am I thinking? Okay. Let's jump back to the Forex side of it. As we go down through each individual pair, the availability when that pair is available to trade, there are 3 major contracts or statement systems that are being done. The first is a expiry of a 2-hour, what we refer to as a 2-hour expiry. They happen every hour, but for 2 hours. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, they make an expiry for 10 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock in the morning, they make an expiry for an 11, putting a 2-hour distance in between the two. Now, what is a statement? We'll go through later on details, but basically it means that at a particular time, you're trying to guess whether or not at the expiry time at 10 a.m., will the price be higher or lower than 76.02 on the Audi JPY? That's basically the whole entire system. Is just that, will this horse win that race at that time? So who's ever ahead at that time wins. You can also bet on him losing. So if he's winning, you pick that side. If he's losing, if you think he's going to lose, then you pick this side. It's very simple. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Our strategy is better than 50%, so we normally win most of the time. But there's a lot of availability to trade a lot of different trades here. We can uncollapse that. Now, in future videos, we're going to start showing you how to break down a lot of the other trades in which each one are. So we have statements of 2-hour trades, and then we have dailies, and then there's also weeklies. We used to deal with dailies all the time. We had our daily signals, and we were doing very well with them, but it still wasn't a horse that was winning any great marathons. What we did find out is our Dex Atomic series system really does work for the 2-hour expiries with a 1-hour trade. Now, keeping all that in mind, our Nadex system here is sort of taking on some changes as they have here. As a rule, I'm only going to use this as an overview. I'm not going to get down through the strategies and where everything is at. In the future, next videos, we'll talk about more of the Forex side and what each one of these are, how to combine it with our strategy. But for now, that's basically where the Forex system works out at for us. Under the total P&L section here, you can see your available balance. You can see the time. You can click down. You can see and hide certain values and position values if you're showing, taking screenshots or what have you. You'll also see a total P&L, which means what you're winning or losing. You also may see what they call a reserve, and the reserve means that if you make a trade and it's just sitting in your orders, it hasn't created a position yet, then it will take out the money of your account to hold until it either opens or closes. That's it. Over here on account, you'll have a few details and systems on. You'll have your personal details, if you will. Under the reporting, and this is the part where it is unfinished still, you have the history and statement area. Now, this presents sort of a logistical nightmare for most of you, especially for those that are actually doing manual trading with us. I probably tell you don't use the new system until they finish it, because going back and forth and all over the place to see what you won or didn't win, you can't even see if you won that trade. You got to then log back out and go into the old system to see if you won that. You could probably tell by your balance increase or decrease, but you want to grab that information and put it in your journal. So you can decide to use the old system primarily, or you can use this new system when you're doing trades with us. Okay. History and statement are both coming soon. We don't know when. You can contact them. You can give them feedback on their new system by clicking onto here, and you can log out. Now, down here in the main screen, when you click on a major pair and you click on any one of these, you won't go actually physically into the trade just yet, but we'll dissect this more when we get into the training of how to trade the system and what all this beautiful, wonderful, crazy Christmas tree looking stuff is. But for the most part, the main bodies of the contracts to be able to select or statements to select, the charting system, the ticket system, if you will, pricing, ticket, order type, from limit orders to market orders and what all that stuff is, will come in the next video. Orders, positions, and order is, I've decided that I want to trade, here's my money, but hang on to it for me if somebody else doesn't come on. So you're still one-sided. So you're looking for a partner to buy the other side of your trade. You're going to say it's a sell. Well, if somebody doesn't want to buy that, to do a buy on it, they won't do it, but you're putting it out there. Hey, I want to take this trade. Now, either another trader or a market maker will pick up your trade. Once it does become a trade and somebody says, all right, I'll take you up on that bet, it becomes a position. And that position then stipulates whether or not who's going to win or lose at the required expiry time. Very simple. Just basically getting into a bet with somebody else that says, I think it's going to be above this line at that time. And you say you think it's going to be below if you've taken the sell position. Now, under 24-hour history, it'll basically show you what was won and what was lost and what you've done a little bit. So you can get some sort of idea over the last 24 hours here. So that's one good knowledgeable thing here. But for the most part, it's still left unfinished to me. The good thing about using the charting system here is that you can kind of see where your levels are at. It gets a little confusing after a while, but we'll sort of break this down as we go through the data and how we make the trades and everything in the next video. You can also do a tear off the chart and kind of pull it off to the side so you can collapse this later on if this becomes in the way, right? You could tear off the ticket side, which is another little cool feature. But for me, that becomes a lot of windows that are open. You can plant these windows in different variant places on your on your page, if you will, something to that like that effect. But again, it's all removable, if you will, and you can kind of play with that. For me, I'm still not impressed yet on the entire series of the system. It does become a little convoluted for me, and all sort of crumpled together. But that's just my personal opinion. If you're going to be using this series with our trading format, it's all about timing and being able to get in, and we'll teach you how to do that in the next videos. All right, I think that's about enough of the overview of the new Nadex platform. I do, and I don't want to always talk bad, but I do like that you're able to click in real quickly, be able to pull up the trade. It'll give you, where you're supposed to be at. It's got a red for the bottom and a blue for the top. I do like some of the mentality stuff that's here, which is pretty cool. And the ease of use here now on the ticket system. So it does have some positives, and I'm still left out on the jury on whether or not it's more negative than positive. All right, I'm Max Farrell. This is DexFXMarkets.com, and this is the Nadex Ninja series with the new platform, new versus old, or new plus old platform, I guess. So, but we'll see you next time, and as always, trade well.